Ayurvedic Health Centre, AGN, Ayurvedic Health Centre Netherlands, has been in existence now for more than 30 years and is the oldest Ayurvedic clinic in the Netherlands. AGN solely carries out classic Ayurvedic treatments and provides medication. The AGN is consistently up to date with the latest advancements in Ayurveda. The centre has been managed under the expert leadership of Dr. Mehta for over 30 years. One of the few Ayurvedic doctors in the Netherlands with a university degree obtained in India. He is also the author of 25 books on Ayurveda, published in both Dutch and English language.
My name is Arnold K Mehta. I was born and educated in India before gaining certification as an Ayurvedic doctor. After graduation, I worked as a general practitioner in New Delhi, India's capital, for 3 years. In 1980, I arrived in the Netherlands and started my own practice, named Ayurvedic Health Centre Netherlands. I now have practices in various cities, with headquarters in The Hague.
All forms of Ayurvedic treatments are possible at the clinic. A few of the most common methods of treatment is the Ayurvedic massage and Ayurvedic treatment through the head and body. This treatment aids in relieving diseases such as muscle and joint diseases, as well as helping with stress-related migraines. Even if you're already healthy, you can still obtain treatment to help maintain your good health. At the end of the 90s, I started to suffer pain from all kinds of strange symptoms in my body, especially symptoms related to my bones, tendons and muscles. Of course, I went to the hospital and sought help from different doctors, but they could only help me by providing me with painkillers. As a result, I started looking for alternative solutions. I am the kind of person who always heavily researches all types of medicine before using them. But this time I thought, I'm not going to use my head, I'll just see what happens, meaning that I really didn't want to know too much about the treatment. Before I started the Ayurveda treatment, I could barely get up from a chair. I couldn't ride my bike anymore. I couldn't get out of bed anymore. And I couldn't put on my socks and shoes anymore. But today I'm doing everything again. And I enjoy it. I'm very happy. For me, Ayurveda is actually the only true cure, and I've suffered with diabetes type 1 since I was 21. I'm pretty okay though. I have my insulin syringe, and of course I'm used to using it by now. But about 10 years ago, I became sick. I actually had a year where I was sick all the time. Long-lasting infections, bladder infections. In short, it was one big misery, from the internist to the urologist to the pulmonologist. I was prescribed antibiotics, and before the treatment had even finished, I had already caught the next infection. About 30 years ago, I read a book about an Ayurvedic doctor, Perfect Health, Deepak Chopra. And so I went looking for this treatment, this I can remember, and this is how I ended up in The Hague with Dr. Mehta. But what I learned is that what's good and healthy for one person can be bad for another person, because it depends on what type of person you are. Anyway, I went home with various herbal pills and some nutrition advice, and after a month, it was incredible. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I felt good again.
In 2003, I had a remarkable complaint. I couldn't stand warm things anymore. Neither food nor drinks, as they gave me an extremely heavy feeling in my stomach. And if I did have something too cold or too warm, then I had to follow a diet for days to get rid of that feeling. I went to the local doctor. I went to the internist, a gastroscopy and other examinations, but the end result was learn to live with it. Of course, I wasn't happy with that, and I tried various alternatives, but everything was in vain. Finally, I went to see Dr. Mehta. I was there once in the 90s, and he helped me out just fine back then, so I had complete trust that he could change my course. And he said, "You're not generating enough enzyme, and that's why your internal thermostat is affected." He gave me various Ayurvedic pills and told me to take black pepper grains before breakfast. And the complaints decreased progressively. I could eat and drink warm and cold things again, and finally the complaint completely disappeared.
I was diagnosed with shingles. I received treatment but no antibiotics because I had a virus, but yes, a treatment with medication. I completed the course of treatment, but I was still in a lot of pain, so I went to Dr. Mehta, who looked at me with a big smile, and within 15 minutes I was standing outside. He wrote down all kinds of data, listened to my story, checked if it was indeed shingles that I had, checked my pulse, and after what could not have been longer than 1 minute, he said, "Don't worry, I have something that will make you feel better in no time." And straight after that he said, "And then we will deal with the cause." And I thought, well, that's tough talk there. And he came back with his medication. I started taking them, and indeed within half a day the pain decreased somewhat. Shingles is one of the most painful diseases and is a nerve disorder.
25 years ago I became a vegetarian, and I went looking for good alternative nourishment. I ended up going to the AGN and arranged to see Dr. Mehta straight away, and I've been a regular patient of Dr. Mehta ever since. I was very pleased with his treatments and my health has improved a lot. Apart from that, I also suffered from excessive hair growth all over my body, and for this I received a treatment from Dr. Mehta, a depilatory oil, and I was so pleased with it that I started to use it on my face as well. And as a consequence, it's removed my beard and moustache, and now I haven't shaved for 6 months.
Since I was a child, I've always suffered from stomach aches. That was every day at the end of the day, I would get a stomach ache. And the second complaint, probably because I was going through a transition, was that I was getting fatter every day. So at a certain point, I gained 10 kilograms of weight, although I wasn't eating more and was doing sport like crazy. So I went to the gym 3 times a week, and I really didn't lose any weight. If I ate less, then I felt really cold, and the whole fat burning process stopped. So even if it was in the middle of the summer, I felt ice cold. With those 2 complaints, I went to see Dr. Mehta, and he said straight away that the fat burning system wasn't right. So then we started with 3 types of herbs that acted on my thyroids, on my digestion, and little by little the stomach aches disappeared. That was actually one of the first things that improved, and as a consequence I am very grateful for Dr. Mehta for that, because I've had this complaint for as long as I can remember, and now my stomach just never aches, and that's fantastic. Apart from that, last year I lost 9 kilograms without following a crazy diet. I just ate less carbohydrate-based foods, but I didn't diet. I was never hungry, and I think that's a fantastic result. What Dr. Mehta actually did was get the motor working again through pills, but he also said that if you slowly cut down on the pills, the motor will probably keep on working, and that is exactly what happened. At the beginning I was afraid that I would have to take pills for the rest of my life, but we started cutting down on them, and now and then we added in some new medication, and finally I quit entirely. So at the moment I'm not taking any pills, and I think that's wonderful, because I don't feel like I'm putting on weight. My weight remains stable. I don't feel cold if I eat less for once, so my feeling is that the motor started working again. I'm so thankful to Dr. Mehta, especially for the fact that I got rid of my stomach aches.
"5 years ago, I had some complaints that I just wasn't feeling at ease with myself. For a small businessman, it's quite normal that you work lots of hours, lots of days. You don't watch the clock, you don't eat properly, you don't live properly. It's a race against the clock. About 20 years ago, I studied philosophy at evening school, and that's how I came across Vedas, and of course Ayurveda is one of them. So I already possessed some knowledge about Vedas and Ayurveda and the philosophy behind it. So that was something that made me think, let's do it. And that's how I got in touch with Dr. Mehta, who could immediately tell through diagnosis and some other questions that the diagnosis made in the past wasn't correct. From the moment he said that, a shiver went through my entire body, and I didn't know what to think. He said, if I were you, I'd go and see my local doctor and have my blood checked. The next day I went to my local doctor and he said, you're looking good lately. And I said, well, I've not been feeling that bad these past couple of months. And then I told him that I wanted to have my blood checked. That was no problem. I arrive at home in the evening and at 6:30 I receive a phone call. Mr. Burse, there's a problem with your blood. You have too many white blood cells. At that moment, about 470,000, whereas normally this shouldn't be more than 6,000 or 7,000. So I asked the doctor, what does this mean? Is it cancer? And he said, you shouldn't put it that way, we don't know yet. So I asked him if there are any other diseases with these symptoms, and he said no. So I knew what awaited me. A month later I had another appointment with Dr. Mehta, and I told him the story. And we came to the conclusion that it was for the best to go to his healing centre in India for about 5 weeks and get treatment there. I immediately signed up for the treatment without knowing what was awaiting me. I can't prove that this is the reason why I'm sitting here today. I can't prove which treatment this is due to, but that doesn't matter to me. I just think that I found a very good companion in Ayurveda. My leukemia is under control. If it's cured or not, if it's gone or not, I can't say I'm 100% sure. But let's just say that the doctors have said that it's under control. Dr. Mehta says that it's balanced, and that's the most important thing. Ayurveda consists of two words, Ayur and Veda. Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge. And so together they mean knowledge of life, in particular knowledge of the healthy life. As a human, you were born with a certain nature, a certain constitution, your character, and your character stays the same from when you were born until the last day of your life. Nobody can change that, because your character cannot be changed. The best we can do is to take it into account. In the same way that we can't change whether it rains or snows or whether the sun shines. But what we can do is take an umbrella with us and come home dry. This is what we call taking something into account. You take your constitution into account with the right nutrition, the right lifestyle, the right choice of products. And that's what we call increasing your self-healing capacity. You increase your own ability to stay healthy. And that is essential in your own healing process. As no one else can heal you completely, that's something you have to do yourself. You have to discover what's good for you and what's not good for you, and what you have to take into account.
The European Institute for Scientific Research on Ayurveda, in short EISRA, has offered various Ayurvedic education and training since 1989. The institute works together with a range of Ayurvedic health centres in Europe, and it offers a 2- or 4-year education programme for Ayurvedic therapists or Ayurvedic practitioners. There are also some 1-year courses such as Ayurveda and Nutrition, Ayurvedic Massage and Ayurveda for the Advanced. The institute also offers the possibility for correspondence course completion. I started the Ayurveda course because I wanted to help people improve their quality of life, and of course improve mine and my family's health as well. Ayurveda is therefore an excellent source of knowledge to have. I think it's an easy way of learning for people that have no idea about what Ayurveda is, people who actually have no knowledge of medical things. So it's learning according to your own rate. You can do as much as you want and can do more if you'd like to go faster. I know for sure that I will build up a career in this field and grow more knowledgeable every day, because Ayurveda is a very wide field of study. It's not just 4 years, it's a whole lifetime. After my initial education, I started my own practice, Tridosha, in Capelle aan de IJssel, where I help people to expel their diseases with Ayurveda and get one complete package with the Tridoshas. I am a student in my second year with Dr. Mehta, and I think it's completely fascinating. I've been learning a lot of practical and theoretical knowledge. The intention is to do something in the Ayurvedic medicine field later on. I admire Dr. Mehta for what he has achieved, for his passion and urge in passing on his knowledge, and I hope he'll continue doing so for many years to come, and that he will still look at his patients with that same enthusiasm.
My name is Harry de Jong. I'm a society and health doctor, and I teach here at the Ayurveda Institute. I teach basic medical knowledge, and that's an important subject. You need it to become a member of your business association. You need it to give a better diagnosis of your patient's disease and the seriousness of it. And apart from that, it's also an obligation imposed by insurers. You can't escape it if you want to be qualified. I completed the Ayurveda education here myself as a student several years ago now. And I think I managed quite well to distinguish between strict Western ideas concerning medical healthcare and the Ayurvedic ideas.
The Institute is located in The Hague, Antwerp and India.
My name is Madhava Overgur. I work at Dr. Mehta's AGN clinic, and I've been an employee here for a few years now. Most of the time you'll get me on the phone when you want to make an appointment. It's important to know that we're affiliated to 2 associations, VNT and VBAG. The consultation is covered by almost 70 health insurers. The treatment is partially and sometimes completely covered. It depends on the coverage you have on your insurance policy and with your insurer.
AGN has become a prominent centre for all Ayurvedic treatments thanks to Dr. Mehta. Ayurvedic medicine has proven to still be of good service to our patients and has withstood the test of time and intends to continue doing so in the future. Think about this. Your health is in your own hands.